And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of No Conditions. I am totally excited. I cannot believe this. I am having Diane Martinez. She is a certified holistic life coach. I did it. I said it. I did it. Welcome to No Conditions. I appreciate you coming on. You are on from Atlanta, Georgia. Amazing. I am excited. We have a 3-hour difference, so we made sure that we got on at the right time. And I'm so thankful that you said it's going to be 12:30 your time and 3:30 my time. So let's do this. I appreciate it. Let me tell you. So before we can begin, plug, promote, tell everybody how you can be found and what it is that what they can find with you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So yeah, my name is Diane Martinez. My website that we just got finished doing another round of tweaks, I'm really proud of it, is consciouscreatinglifecoaching.com. That's got my story, all the things I offer, all of my newsletters, which I think, Monica, are like around over 30 now. So a lot of content there, some videos that have been my IGTV, so people can sort of get a glimpse of who I am and what I'm about on my website. They can find me on Instagram. Always appreciate a follow at Life Coach Martinez. And I'm on Facebook as well. So they can find me in all those places and love to interact, questions, comments. And I offer a free 30-minute coaching session that's just like a get to know you. Is, am I a good person for someone to work with, just so they can sort of test it out. Life coaching is kind of new. It's been around, they say, for a long time, but to me, it feels new. People seem to think of it as a new thing. So if they want to test it out a little bit, have a no obligation 30-minute call, I am down for that.
Oh, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I have to tell you, I was on your Instagram. If anybody gets an opportunity, you guys have to give her a follow. I was looking at all of your videos, and some of those videos that you made totally spoke to me and just completely just wrapped me up. There was one of them, you were saying, giving up the fight. One of the, when to give up the fight, when to do this. Like, don't you agree that some people, whenever they have good intentions and they stay too long because those intentions are so pure that they're constantly worried about hurting the other person, whenever really they just need to cut it out of their life in order to save them. It's like, well, I don't want to be selfish, but sometimes you have to give up.
You do. And knowing when to do that, that's the art of it all, right? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to quit on something that was just about to hit a breakthrough moment yet. It's all about, and this is the work that I do with people, for every question that comes up, we have the answer within us. Now, it doesn't feel like it, right? It feels like, well, it might be within me, but I don't know how to access it, have no clue. And that's what a life coach can help someone with. But yes, there are times when the best thing to do is take care of yourself and walk away. And that, it doesn't have to be with a great deal of anger or malice or bitterness. It can be like, I love you. I think we're better apart. Wish you well in your journey. I'm on my way. See you around, and let that be that. We really have to believe that life is guiding us and we can trust our guidance. That's a huge step. Yep. A huge step.
My mom used to say all the time, the reason why I'm giving you this advice is because it's different from looking from the outside in than it is from the inside out. I see this, but I'm going to give you what my interpretation is of what this situation and this certain problem that you have. And, you could take it or leave it, but I'm going to tell you, this is what I see. And you know what? And you know what? Sometimes it would make me crazy. She was right all the time. It just killed me. One time I wanted her to be wrong,
Mom,
but she was right. Yeah, moms have a tendency to do that. But you know what? The quarantine, I think I think of you guys as like superheroes, because life coaching right now, especially during quarantine, now that we're coming out into the open,
Yeah.
you guys are needed so much. It's like, this building was torn down, which us being that building. And now we need somebody to come in and help us clean up the mess that this thing has created, and that's where you guys come in. And I think that is so amazing. You guys are the superheroes.
Oh, thank you. Well, that is so true. I mean, I found it, my business is up tremendously from last year. And I thought last year would have been when it was more needed, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I think, like you said, now that we're coming out of it and people are ready to ask the questions, now they're ready to get at it. It's like, now that I've had this year to process all kinds of things with career and relationships and body image and everything, it's like, now I'm ready to take on the questions and do the work and create a life, because I know now that I, am not satisfied enough with how things were. So yes, it's a big time. It's a big time personally and for the collective, and for whatever I can do to support women in really believing in themselves. That's the key to the work that I do. And I have been coaching women I started off as a health coach in 2012. And so I've been coaching a long time. Some men in there with the health coaching, but with the life coaching with women, without a doubt, the thing that I come across most is that people who don't believe that they're worthy.
Mhm.
They don't believe that they're good as they are. They think they have to somehow earn worthiness, and then they can get to manifesting a good partner or a great job or a better place to live. And that's what I want to tell everybody. I just want to shout it from the rooftops that you're worthy as you are. That's the way you were created. You haven't screwed it up. You haven't screwed it up. You haven't become unworthy. You're good where you stand. So let's start from there, and then create and explore and see what you can do. So,
And I think women too, just especially when you're a mom, a wife, we take a problem, we chew all the fat out of it, and then we stick it in our hair. I mean, that's what we do. We carry it around constantly, and then when you realize, well, that person is just as screwed up as I am, but how did they look so happy? And I think it's what you allow in your brain to take root and to stay there and take up space. You're worried about so many different things when in actuality, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I do the same thing. I constantly think I'm doing things wrong as a mom. I'm constantly worried, and what didn't I do right? And I lay awake at night and I'm thinking, did my mom do this? And she did. No wonder she's crazy. No wonder I'm crazy. All of us moms are.
yeah, yeah. As moms, we absolutely take on so much. It's like the guilt trip that never ends, right? It's just real or imagined. We can really be in a stew about that. But I think that comes from our giving nature, right? We want to do our best. We don't want to let anyone down. We want to serve and raise responsible, happy, strong, steady kids. So I get that. But you had so much wisdom in your remarks about the thoughts in our head and what we allow ourselves to think. Ooh, man, lots of coaching sessions could be held on that alone, because being aware of the thoughts in our head, and they say we have like over 65,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts, right?
Oh,
But they say like a huge percentage, I want to say like 90% of them are repetitive things we thought yesterday. And so we just get these loops in our head about, why can't I lose this weight? What's the matter with me? Why am I so weak? I just can't, I'll start on Monday, and we just go round and around and around and around. If we can bring awareness to those thoughts and actually hear what our inner roommate, one of my favorite teachers calls it the inner roommate, what that critical voice is always saying, if we can hear it, then we no longer are that voice. And that right there is a wonderful space to put in between you and the thought. You are not your thoughts. And if your thoughts are looping and destructive and critical and cranky and whatever, we don't have to believe them. We don't have to respond to them. And more importantly, we can choose better ones. So
Exactly.
that's our point of power, is hearing that voice in our head, realizing we're not it, and choosing thoughts that just feel better. Talk to ourselves like we would our bestie.
Yeah. I noticed in my job, I'm a beautician. I've been doing hair for over 20 years. And, one thing about women is we always think that there's somebody better than ourselves. And our insecurities, we wear them like Tin Man does with his heart. We wear them right on our chest. And, when somebody pays us a compliment or tries to, give us that little boost, we don't believe them. We just don't. We think that they're,
Mhm.
that's not true. Are you even looking at me? Do you see what I see?
Mm.
And it's, I always tell people, don't criticize me, because no matter what you say, what I've said to myself is 10 times worse. And
Yeah.
when you compliment a woman, that's why I work really hard at that when I have them sitting in my chair, because the bad stuff is always easier to believe. It's the good stuff that we think that we're unworthy of not hearing. And I wish some of these women would see themselves the way that I see them. They would never allow anybody to cut them down ever again. And that's the sad thing.
Well, not only do we not allow people to take us down, but like you said, we're able to take compliments and receive um, praise in whatever form with graciousness. I think there's a thing with women that if somebody says, "Oh, you look amazing today," instead of saying it's like this, I just, I got it for $5. It just like, we always have to be self-deprecating, put down what we're wearing or how we look or what we do,
Yeah.
right? I like to think of it as like the Mary Poppins principle, and I made that up. You won't find it anywhere. But I don't know if you remember that movie.
Oh, are you kidding? Spoonful of sugar. Hit me up,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you remember when Michael and Jane first meet her and she's seeing how they measure up with her little magical tape measure? And it says, Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way. And she reads that and just is like, smiles. And Jane says, "That's your name, Mary Poppins. It's a lovely name." And she says, "Thank you. I've always liked it." And we sort of think as like, oh, so she's all that. It's like, no, all she did was say, you know, yes, yes, I've always liked it, but we need to receive compliments like that. Thank you. That's it. We don't need to say, "I look like crap. I didn't spend any time. You should have seen," it's like we can just say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not
I'm guilty
arrogant
of
or
that too.
conceited, and that doesn't make us a bitch. It does not make us a bitch if we say thank you.
Mhm. Yep. I
Yeah,
feel good.
thanks.
I
Yeah.
feel good. Well, I do the defense mechanism. Like I always throws in humor. Like, perfect example. As soon as I come on, you gave me a compliment and I flipped the switch. I was like, well, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap, just, but that's my defense mechanism. And I realize that I have that. But I always want people to receive my compliment as well. Whenever I say, "Oh, you're gorgeous, you're this and that." And now I see it as, the bad stuff is always easier to believe. Whenever we sit there and we're like, "Oh, well, I'm like a Monet from far away. I look really good, but up close, it's like a big disaster." We
Well,
always think that we're not worthy of that.
exactly. Back to the worthiness thing. We are worthy, but I also think that a lot of women just don't want to be perceived as like, if we say thank you, or someone says, "You look super fit. Have you been working out?" It's not arrogant to say thank you. Yes, I have been working really hard, or whatever. There's confidence is not arrogance.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. Confidence is not arrogant. We want to, it's natural. I don't know that it's natural. It's healthy to have a good self-concept. If we're always putting ourselves down, that doesn't make us charming or a good friend or anything else. It just makes us sad, because I think all of us have an inner 3-year-old
Yeah.
that when we say those things, just like a 3-year-old going like, but I'm trying my best, if you were to, there's a little 3-year-old kid trying to learn to tie their shoe or set a puzzle or whatever, and we walk up and say, yeah, you suck, right? How would that child respond, right? They're hurt, they're crestfallen. It's, that was a mean thing to say. Why do we think we're any different?
Mhm.
We receive those harsh words just like a 3-year-old, because inside we are, and I don't mean that we're, immature toddlers, but I mean, there
It's
is
the
that
truth.
tender part of ourselves.
Mhm.
And we think that, I have found this a lot, that is sort of like a slingshot, that if we want to go far, if we want to like really improve something, we need to pull back and get that tension of how disgusting awful I am. And if I, really own how terrible I am inside or out, then I'll, be able to make the changes I want to make. But it doesn't work that way. It's the opposite.
Mhm.
If you want to make healthy change in your life, whether it's with nutrition, exercise, setting healthy boundaries at work or in relationships, it comes from self-love. And self-love does not mean that you think you're better than anybody. That is not it. Self-love means that you accept yourself as you are,
And I think
as you
too
are.
with women, I think with women is they it's a fine line between, we always think that when we are doing the best that we can, that it's enough. And a lot of times we think, well, we could have done more. We could have done this. We could have done, there's always more. There's always room for improvement whenever you can sit there and say, I did my best. I crossed all the T's. I dotted all my I's. There's nothing more I could have done. And this is the outcome that it is. And we still don't think it's good enough. We still think that we could have improved when sometimes your best is enough. And I don't understand that in women. Men don't feel that way. You know,
No, they're the ones. I forget who was it. The humorist Dave Barry. I used to read his article columns back in the day when he wrote. It's like, women can be drop dead gorgeous, beautiful hair, nice toned body, outfitted beautifully, but they have chubby ankles, right? They just can't accept themselves because they have chubby ankles. Where a guy, can have body odor that interferes with radio waves, have a big old Dunlop belly, and, consider himself the rough equivalent of Ryan Gosling,
yeah. He's
they
like,
have a
I
whole
think I
other
deserve a
standard.
10. He's like, I deserve a 10.
Yeah, they have a whole different standard than we do. But yeah, we need to just stop being hard on ourselves, because it like I said, it's not cute, it's not charming, it helps nothing. And I think that women helping women is such a beautiful thing, because if we stop, you know, attacking each other and start supporting each other, who will stop us? Nobody,
Nope.
nobody, because we are so capable. There is this well of ability and love and nurturing and strength and steadiness, um, that that is who we are. And when we're not distracted by petty things like my ankles are chubby, or my God, my eyebrows are thinning, when we're not tearing each other down or ourselves down, that's where I think real change is going to come in the world. It's
Mhm.
from women owning our worthiness and our power in using it.
And also
You
too,
heard it here first.
I think it takes women to, there's nothing wrong with helping another woman straighten her crown. I call everybody a queen. Everybody is a queen. And I don't care who you are or what you're doing. I will never tell you that it's crooked, but I'm going to do my damnedest to help you straighten it because you deserve it. That's, and being able to deserve, like my biggest thing is, even I say it on Clubhouse, is I never have time for the nervous breakdown I deserve. Now I choose what I decide is important and what takes over the most time for me. And I know that I am the master of my own ship, but there are days where I fall into bed and I'm just like, I wish I just would have had one more minute of this or one more minute of that. And the only person I have to blame is myself. And at some point, you have to have that person say, knock it off, snap out of it, do your thing, do you, boo boo. And then, people will get over it.
Well, that's just what you were saying. It's like, your best is enough.
Mhm.
We have to be, if we deny ourselves the wonderful feeling of being satisfied, being content with what is, with what we've done, with what we've achieved, with what we've accomplished, with what we've created, that's a beautiful place. And just like good decisions don't come from self-hate, good decisions come from self-love. This sort of improvement comes from being satisfied with yourself. Many times I have suggested to clients that at the end of the day, instead of writing like a gratitude journal of 3 things or 5 things they were grateful for, what I like to have them do is list 3 things that they did that day. So pat yourself on the back. You didn't smack your kid when you lost, you were frustrated, or you made a good dinner, or, you stuck in there for your whole workout, whatever it is. 3 things that you really rocked today. And then 1 thing you would like to do better tomorrow. And I like that because it puts the emphasis on what you did well, giving yourself permission to feel good about yourself, to feel good about your day. And then 1 thing to improve upon, because like you said, we're always growing and improving and, wanting to expand. So there's always, no matter where you are, right, there's something you can work on. But hopefully that comes from excitement and enthusiasm, and not like, well, let me see if I can earn, if I can not be so awful and dreadful. If I do this 1 thing, maybe I'll be better. So
Yeah. But also too, I think,
changing that emphasis, what's going well.
yeah. Uh, I had one of my clients tell me one time, she says, whenever you journal or whenever you do something, she goes, there's nothing wrong with having a line of aspirations and inspirations, what you aspire to be, what inspires you. And I'm thinking, I never even thought about that. I would have never, ever thought of something like that. And then but I never wrote it down, but I did it in my mind.
Oh,
And
cool.
I
Did
thought,
it come easily to you?
and it just started coming in of all the things that I thought, well, that works. Well, that didn't work. And then I felt really good about it. And I think it truly changed. And it just took that one little tweak. Like, have you ever seen it in a client's eyes where it takes that one little tweak where you're like, wow, you really got it.
Yeah, those moments are amazing, very
Those are like
powerful.
those are like Yahoo moments. Those are my favorite.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, to expedite those moments for clients, one of my favorite things to explain to them is I'm a big fan of the law of attraction. Are you?
No,
No,
I,
don't like the law of attraction, or have you heard of it?
I I'm not familiar with it. You're gonna have to help walk me through it.
Okay, so the law of attraction basically is 1 simple sentence: that which is like unto itself is drawn. What that means is that, everything is energy. Your energy, your chair's energy, your salad is energy. Everything in this world is energy. And energy, it doesn't just sit there, it vibrates. It's always vibrating, and it's vibrating at a certain frequency. So the law of attraction says we draw into our lives or manifest things whose vibration line up with ours. We attract what is like to us. Key concept, key concept. And if anybody, can I just interject here? If anybody wants to dive into this with me, oh my God, it is in my wheelhouse. I love to talk about this. It is so powerful when you're learning how to like really create your life purposefully and not just stumble through each day and hope nothing awful happens.
Yes.
The law of attraction is huge, and it's not woo-woo. It
I was
is
hoping you were
actually,
gonna say woo woo.
it is not woo-woo. It is quantum physics, because it just is. Everything is energy, and the vibrations line up. It's like a magnet, right? You're attracting the things that vibrate on the same
It's like
wave.
the vibe in your tribe, right? Like you attract the vibe in your tribe.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like if you've gone through a bad breakup, right? And you were with some just total clown, bad for you, toxic, it's best not to go right into something else until you've cleaned up your vibration because you manifested that clown. In order to not manifest another idiot, you need to clean up my vibration. Where am I not appreciating or valuing myself? Really cleaning up. I mean, that's the term, because you're taking a look at it, and not with a critical eye, but with an eye to understand, not to criticize yourself and be like, I'm an idiot. Why didn't know? Just like, oh, okay, I still believe that. I don't deserve to be treated well because maybe my dad didn't treat me well or my parents didn't treat me well. To do that inner work of sorting out so that when you are ready to attract another partner, it's at a higher level, a better vibration, not the sucky one where we're just repeating old patterns that are not pleasant, let's say. So
Well,
that's one thing. The other thing about the law of attraction, or more quantum physics, is where attention goes, energy flows. So you like that?
I love that.
Where attention goes, energy flows. So that means be careful what you think about. So let's talk about weight loss, just because, I mean, most women want to lose some weight, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm carrying around a couple pandemic pounds I would like to release. But
I like cake.
no, me, as I just being at home, well, working from home so much anyway, it's like, hey, I could go to the pantry. But anyway, I digress. I was going to say about where attention goes, energy flows. So thinking about losing weight, that might be in our mind that we're working on losing weight, but where's our attention going? Like, oh my God, look at these thighs, this belly. How am I ever going to make this work? I'm terrible at working out. I just can't control what I eat. We might think we're working on it. It's like, no, I'm really working on it. But all your attention is going toward being overweight. So if you want to create something different, you need to do a 180-degree pivot and go toward what you want. Now that can be hard to think about a fit, toned body, or being healthy, or feeling sexy, or wearing a bikini again, or whatever, if that's not what our current reality is. But that's how you create that reality. So try to feel how it would feel to live in your ideal body. Imagine how awesome that is, how confident you feel, how strong and sexy, how toned, and just like, give me any outfit, give me any social situation, and I'm good, girl. I am good. To direct your attention that way, and that's what creates the change. Because if we keep directing our attention to our sad what is, whether it's a bank account or the thighs or dreadful boyfriend or whatever, that's just going to keep bringing more of the same. So where attention goes, energy flows. So point your very powerful attention to what you want to create.
And also, I liked what you said about, you need to work on why you didn't want that dirt bag in the first place. And, you don't want to deal with that clown. It kind of reminds me of whenever you make dinner, right? Sometimes you use more pots and pans than what you normally would on one meal than you would on something else. But you got to clean up that mess first before you can start working on something else in order to kind of add to it,
Yeah.
And so many women, it's like this imaginary baggage that they have on them. And you're thinking, oh my gosh,
It's not imaginary.
I know.
It's just not visible, but it's very real.
You need to get rid of that. It's just, just get rid of it. And most of it is what they let that clown convince them what they were. And, that's what I tell women all the time. You let somebody who loses his keys 15 times a day and probably has, chances are he's going to move back in with his parents. You're going to let that turd bucket tell you your worth whenever you are such an amazing person. Well, he told me I'm fat. Well, he told me I'm this. Really? you know, that guy's a tool belt, and you're cheapening it. Why are you cheapening yourself? It's not worth it. And I get so, it's not, it's terrible. So I want to talk a little bit about, so we met on Clubhouse, and I want everybody to know this because everyone in my town is going to be like, okay, so how do you know her? So we met on Clubhouse, and we were in this empowering women group, and you just like stuck out to me. Has Clubhouse changed your way of thinking going into different rooms, different chat rooms, and listening to different women?
Definitely. I mean, I've learned a lot. The first room I stumbled into, they were talking about toxic masculinity. It was like, oh my God, how did I get here? Yes, I choose the rooms very carefully because there are people who don't follow the rules in terms of having an honest, respectful conversation, that there's room for everybody to say what they think and speak their mind, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with it, but you also don't have to fight them about it. You can just let it be, right? There's not one person that has the lockdown on the truth. We each have our own life experiences and things that color our perspective and the way we see things, and each point of view is valid. So some rooms are not very respectful of that, but the empowering rooms, the let's support each other rooms, oh yeah, those are amazing. And yeah, it's such a great place to make wonderful connections for something like this, like a podcast, or I mean, who knows what else?
Oh, I think it's
Kinds
fantastic.
of collabs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love meeting. I know there's one. He he's on there. We had him on the Steve and Monica show. He's from Canada, Maury, and he just floats from room to room. Sometimes he goes into a jam, where they do like jam sessions of reggae music or whatever. And he's like, oh, I was there for an hour working and listening to music, and I just thought I'd be on Clubhouse. And he's just such a cool cat, but I never would have met him. I've talked to some of these people more than I talk to my family.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to connect. There are some there is a woman and there's a coach's room that I was in on Thursday, and it's just so empowering. These women, I can tell one woman has that beautiful accent from the Republic of South Africa. I could listen to her talk all day. And somebody else from the Northwest who's getting ready to sell their house and buy an Airstream and just drive across the country. So many cool people your paths would never cross otherwise. To connect on there is just amazing. And the audio only is so nice because you can do other things while you're listening.
I
And
did
that's,
dishes. I did
yeah,
dishes one day listening to everybody talk about crap that I had no idea what they were talking about. And anytime they called me on for, to give an answer, I'm like, well, here's my take.
yeah, that's,
But
that's the fun of it.
but I think too, you realize that the world is not necessarily as big as you think it is. It is a little bit small. And you meet so many great people. And I love apps like this because I get to connect with like-minded people, and you can leave a room quietly. It's too bad we can't do that in life, where we're just like, you know what?
Right?
Boop, peace. I'm out. This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But I do love that. And that's what
Mhm.
I like. And I wish this was around a year ago. That would have made life a whole lot easier. But yeah. So, but you are in Atlanta, Georgia.
But you know what? I believe in divine timing. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, everything, if you can develop a little bit of trust in life, if you can look back at any time in your past to see how things worked out, ended up being really good, even though you thought at the time it was awful, and just develop that that's not a fluke.
Yeah.
Life is happening for you, not to you, and just take things as they come and enjoy them and learn what you can, and stop beating yourself up, and develop that muscle of allowing yourself to feel satisfied
Mhm.
with yourself, with your day, with your time, with the people in your family. I
And
mean,
it's okay to be not be okay. It's totally fine.
absolutely. Oh my God, it is so okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, this emphasis now on mental health, which is really brought that into the spotlight, thankfully, finally, to take away the stigma from that, and for people to stop feeling like they have to wear masks when they're just dying on the inside, that I have to keep up this facade of I'm perfect and I've got my shit together. And it's like, no,
No, you don't.
I'm having a crappy day and I, didn't brush my teeth for, the last 36 hours and don't have plans to, it's like to be real with each other, when to be our authentic selves is such a blessing, because
Oh,
it's exhausting to pretend that we're something other than we are.
and that's what kills me, is that's what the expectations of people who are putting those expectations up there, they don't have their shit together. You know,
I know.
they I mean, I tell people all the time, I downloaded TikTok during the quarantine, and for 3 hours, I forgot I had a family. I was like, where did this come from? This is amazing. And then you do it and you're like, oh, I feel so horrible. I should, I even baked cookies. I was like, I need to make up for that 3 hours that I, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni. Like, I need to make up for that. And I did, and I still felt like shit. So it didn't work, and it's okay. It's all right. You don't
It's
have
okay.
to
It's
be
okay.
perfect. Yeah,
No, you don't even try. Perfect is something that, I mean, who wants to be perfect?
I
Because you
know.
can only go down from there. You can't get better than perfect. And really, who wants to have a friend that's perfect?
Oh,
You want to go for a girls' weekend with a perfect girlfriend? I don't.
no, all of my friends are dumpster fires. Let me tell you, and they're the most fun you have ever had in your.
Right?
It's
Right?
like it's like we're like string cheese. Some people, they don't like it. Others find it a lot of work. We, however, it's worth it. That's how we look at it. So we're an acquired taste.
Well, I love the authenticity of it. I would take somebody who is authentic, who's their true self, because then you know what you're dealing with. You don't have to be so guarded around them. They're straight shooters. And if they, this is the work that Brene Brown has done such amazing work with vulnerability, and how being able to be vulnerable is a superpower when you can be your true self and be real with people. Now, not with everybody. I'm not saying you should just go out and vent your spleen to strangers or whatever. No. And always be judicious with like who you share secrets with. But when it comes to saying, no, actually, I don't care for that band, or no, I'm not a big fan of pizza, believe it or not, to speak our truth and be who we are. That's
Mhm.
People are more respectful of that than you think they would be. It's like, wow, I really admire that. I remember when I quit my teaching job, and it's at a beautiful private school here in Atlanta, a wonderful place. And I didn't quit because I didn't like it. I quit because life was pulling me to do something different. But the people there was like, oh my God, how can you do that? I'm so proud of you. You're so brave. And I was like, I'm not tightrope walking naked or something. I'm just doing something different.
Uh-huh.
But, people really respect and respond to, I think, and look up to people who are their authentic selves. This works for
Oh.
me, this doesn't.
Mhm. And you kind of want to look at people and be like, you know what? Be yourself sometime. Try it. Try it sometime. You
Yeah.
might find that you have more people that like you than hate you, and you're not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay.
So many people don't know how to be themselves. I can't, one of the things that brought me from health coaching to life coaching was, if I wasn't helping anybody that I met with to just tell them like, girl, give up the donuts, start drinking more water. I mean, get yourself together. And especially the people that I saw most often were the ones that had the most challenging health concerns. And if there's somebody that has a lot of health concerns that have built up over time, chances are, number one, there's a reason that they do what they do. It meets some need. So you can't just tell them to stop doing what they're doing. And there's always going to be an emotional component to that. So to try to understand that, why are you doing what you do? How has that served you? It's complex, and to try to bring people around to get in touch with that, I would ask women, so, I mean, these are women who were just not making any progress, weren't particularly happy to come and talk with a health coach, right? Because they felt bad about themselves. I would say, so what brings you joy? And I would get looks like this.
I don't know.
No, that would be like a 20, 30-second pause because I would wait. And they would say, grandchildren. I'm like, oh, girl.
Oh, geez.
Like you have to eat, not to say that you do it, the things that bring you joy all the time, but you should at least know what they freaking are. You
Yeah.
know, is it travel? Is it gardening? Is it skydiving? Is it, what is it that brings you joy? Rock climbing, event planning. I'm just, never lose touch with that, what makes you light up.
Underpants Sunday. Sign me up every single week. If I can stay home and not have to go anywhere, don't do my hair, don't do my makeup, and I can just marinate and watch whatever junk I want on TV and nobody talk to me. That's like my idea. Heaven.
There you go.
I
There you
know.
go. And to touch base with that as frequently as you can. That's, you've got one day a week where you can just, that's where you recharge. You just like sort of like feed your soul, right? Not having to look a certain way or do a certain thing. You just get to do what you want and just chill. That's key. I get my husband, I'm remarried now. This is the second marriage, or 6 years. And he has learned, don't bother Diane in the morning when she's being quiet. Diane doesn't like to look at cute videos or anything, just shh. We're quiet because
Yeah.
I'm reading and drinking my coffee, and it's my little spiritual practice that I do.
Mhm.
And don't stand between me and that. It won't go well. So
No,
knowing what grounds us and brings us joy is huge.
I'd murder somebody. So yeah, so real quick, we need to wrap this up, but I want to let everybody know, if you guys want to see something amazing, you need to get on her Instagram. You need to look at her. She has the most amazing videos I have ever seen. And I'm telling you, and I'm not saying this just to fluff your bottom. I'm genuinely meaning this. I know.
I'll be fun. It's
I
good.
know. Everyone needs a hobby. If you guys need her, you guys can find her. Diane Martinez, certified holistic life coach. You can be found on Instagram. You can be found on Facebook. And if you guys are on Clubhouse, you guys can find me there. You can ping me, and then I can send you to her, or you guys could go find her. Whatever it is you want to do. Life Coach Martinez is your handle, at Life Coach
Life
Martinez.
Coach Martinez on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I jump in with the one thing I was going to say and I forgot? So starting actually this week, it began, my website is just now being, as we speak, updated with this. I'm launching a new 3-month program. It's a one-on-one program. So not a group. You don't have to get along with others or anything. It's just you and me for 3 months. It's a transformational life coaching program. Is called Own Your Power, Create Your Life. And my goal is to meet people where they are and really work with them through all of the awareness and sorting out limiting beliefs and getting clear on your visions, all sorts of really important work to set you up to just fly, baby. So if anyone is interested in that, they can check that out or contact me, DM me on Instagram. I would be happy to connect.
Oh, fantastic. I want to thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with me. This has literally
Thanks for having
flown
me.
by. This is the fastest podcast I've ever done. This is awesome.
I know.
I love it.
I'm having fun.
This is amazing. Well, everybody, thank you so much. Like I said, if you guys want to, you guys can get onto Instagram. You guys can watch her videos, and I highly encourage you to do so. You guys can always find me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can always, I always do that. You guys can always get me on YouTube. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And also, too, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm live with my co-host, Steve Appel, on Steve and Monica Show. So if you guys have any questions, about this podcast, this episode, you guys can always email me at noconditions2020@gmail.com. Diane, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks so much. It was so much fun.
Yes, and we will definitely do this again. I appreciate you. Bye, everybody. You guys have a great time.